Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, Allahu,
Alhamdulillah, hamdan kasiran wasi'an mubarakan fih, wa sallallahu sallam nabiyana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qala Allah ta'ala: Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ati'u Allah wa ati'u rasula wa la tubtilu a'malakum. In Surah Muhammad, the verse number 33, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advising us in a very, you can say, firm way. Very, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Muhammad, He explained to us how we be a good follower of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how we can achieve our goal by following his mission, his message, and how we're supposed to be a good Muslim by following Allah and following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's teachings and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's all kind of seerah and all kind of whatever he showed us in his sunnah, and how we maintain our good side to be intact, and how we not do any kind of something which will invalidate our all kind of good deeds. So in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in a very, very brief, you can say 3 points, he summarized all things we need to do and not to do. So first thing he said, you have to do 2 things. First thing, you have to believe. It is of course, it is essential requirement. It is initial requirement. It is the first requirement. O believers, O you who believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, O you surrendered your will to will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, O you who committed to be the follower of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's teaching. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, O believers, ati'u Allah, be follower of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obeying and listening and obeying and following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command in a very, very willing way. Yani I am doing something may be forced. No, I am doing ita'a. Ita'a in Arabic means which I am doing with my own will, with my own free will, with my own choice, without any kind of external force to force me to do this thing. So, believers, do your ita'a, your submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first, and do your ita'a to his messenger, all messengers, but the final messenger, of course. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, don't do anything which invalidate your all good deeds you did it after Iman. So what it means? It means, if I can say you, that many times it happened that suppose we are good believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our prayer time, we are good believer in Ramadan time, we are good believer in some time we are very, very, for example, in the need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala special help. So what we do lot of crying, lot of dua, lot of effort, lot of sacrifice, lot of charities. But when we are normal, we forget. And we do, for example, something, maybe for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not accepted it or not happy with it. So it means, for example, just like imagine if you have a bowl and you are filling it, but you have also a hole in it. So everything you are filling, it is going, the bowl will be empty for some time because the hole is not keeping water inside it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advising us in a positive sense and also in a negative sense. So believers, first thing you do your ita'a to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is first condition. And in this world, in this universe, and especially I'm relating this issue with our situation which happened in COVID. COVID issue, we were forced to stop to do everything, good and bad, either way. For example, suppose those who are committing a lot of sin, they were not able to do it. Those who are doing good also, they were not able to do as well. But what happened? They were, for example, they have no choice. So you can say in one way they become believer of Allah, or they become surrendered to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or they accepted destiny. They accepted that they have no any choice except to follow the rules. So they were not violating anything. They were staying at home. They were even, for example, they're going outside for very special need or any kind of very, for example, needed situation, and so on. And most of the time, you can see that in these 3 months, you can note few things. First thing, the crime rate dropped. It was very strange thing, and also in a very different situation, many kind of fightings, many kind of terrorist activities, and many kind of different kind of situation happening, but all were not existing. Just like a whole human society become very peaceful society. Nobody was fearing from other. Nobody, for example, have any kind of sense that maybe some person will attack him, or for suppose, for example, he steal his money, or if, for example, rob his home, and so on. So everyone, for example, and more than that, what happened? Our environment become very clean. In our situation become, for example, very, you can say, healthy. So why it happened? It happened without our choice, without our own, for example, willingness. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us that if you do it under Iman and doing it under the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you do willingly to follow the teaching of Islam, which is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His book Quran, and teaching of Sunnah, which is prescribed from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam by his teaching and then by practices. So in this way, what will happen? That this human being who is doing something unwillingly, same thing he will do willingly. But then there will be two more important things. First thing, it will make a very special status in the eye of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that this person will be a real believer of Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always take care about his believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always help those who are good and those who are going good for others and doing good for himself, herself, and for others, and doing for the sake of Allah. Second thing is that they will surrender to the real savior of humanity, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the one who is appointed to save humanity from their real disaster, real failure in this dunya and akhirah. Lifetime issue is very, very important issue. We have a very limited lifetime issue. We have one time life, and we cannot waste it. We cannot, for example, lose it, but we can do it to convert it in the real eternal success. So in this way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us two advices in positive sense, that whatever you are doing, you have to do it. But if you do for the sake of Iman, for the sake of following Allah, Allah's teaching and following Allah's Messenger's teaching, you will be a real and truly and positively successful person. But then you have to do another thing which invalidate your actions. Can you just imagine, suppose, for example, if I have something, and I have, suppose, for example, money, and I go and throw it, or I go, for example, throw in waste or in garbage. What will happen? If I did a lot of effort and I gain nothing. So same thing happen in this dunya. You can see that people are different kind of groups. You can say some are foolish people. They don't know how to earn money and how to spend money. But you can see that another kind of people are those who are very smart in earning. They are very smart earning, but in the time of spending, they spend this money to anything. They go for any kind of something, leisure, lust, or any kind of enjoyment, or even, for example, gambling, or any kind of, for example, show off and so on. And then they have become foolish people in the time of spending. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking us to be smart in both ways. When we are earning money, we're supposed to be smart, and when we are spending money, we're supposed to be smart as well. And same thing about our own attitude. When we have a time, so suppose if we do 15 minutes for good thing, and then we did half an hour in wasting our time, or doing some kind of sin or evilful thing, then what happened? Our, I can say, graph of good is going high, but then graph of evil is going higher. So in this way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تُبْطِلُوا أَعْمَالَكُمْ. Don't make your amal or your good deed invalidate. It will be in many ways. First thing, if I do something good, suppose, just like I'm giving an example, if you are going to second level and you took 4 or 5 steps and then you came back. So of course you will not go to second level. You're still on first level. Or suppose, for example, instead of going to, for example, stairs, you are, for example, just making your, for example, step by step, and you are walking on the same level, but you are not losing a staircase. So in this way, you are not benefiting. Or something you are mixing. So something good and something bad, both are doing together. So in this way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us advice in a very brief but very, very, for example, you can say a very useful way, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from our iman, from our belief in Allah and belief in Rasul, if we are continuously doing. Now imagine that many people, they have different levels of amal. Maybe they are very, very smart in every time, in every situation, for every action. So mashallah, they are very good. But maybe some people, they are good in some time, maybe they are not good other time. But they are, for example, if they are doing good amal or good deeds, maybe for example not too much, but they are still avoiding haram and forbidden things. So you can say that their graph of amal is still, for example, good. But suppose a person who is doing lot of bad amals, but then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a time and opportunity to make tawbah. Of course, he converted his bad deeds and good deeds. As some person is doing istighfar, or some person is doing some kind of repentance, or some kind of sadaqah. So in this way, the person is gathering good deeds, maybe for example doing bad deeds, but then his graph is going high constantly. And this is the reason why Rasulullah advised to us, أحب الأعمال إلى الله أدومها وإن قل. The best amal in the eye of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is which is constant, maybe it is not too much. So in this way, as one of the scholars said, قنطار من ذرة من السنة خير من قنطار من البدعة. And if you are doing a lot of mountain-like bad deeds, or something which you consider it's a deen but it's not deen, it is not good. But if you are doing a very, very tiny part of sunnah, it will be better for you. So the huge quantity is not the issue, but the quality is the important issue. So in this way, this ayah is giving us a very, very special guidance, and I want to connect it with our situation after COVID. So after COVID, suppose for example we become very good Muslim, we are become big follower of Allah. But when we are back with our all kind of some very old practices which we have, suppose doing something good, something bad, and we don't care. So whatever we gathered, good numbers of reward, we are losing it again. And in Ramadan time, we were very, very good obedient of Allah. But after Ramadan, we are doing less. It is okay. But we are supposing we are doing opposite what we are doing in Ramadan, then it is a issue of doing our invalidation of our amal. So if we do iman, I can say minimum level of iman without any doubt, and we do believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with faraid, with wajibat, with mandatory part, with little bit extra, and we are loving Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and doing his sunnah whatever we can do, and we are trying to avoid all kind of violations of haram, violation of something which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't like it, don't for example appreciate it. So then our amal, it iman and amal will inshallah make us to qualify for akhirah with success, and for dunya also with a good assurance of happy life for us and for others, and happy journey of dunya will be a good destination akhirah as well. Jazakumullah khair.
أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد وانتشت روحي وصار